Welcome to Sit Down with the Superintendent, presented by GCHS TV. Join us as we welcome Greenup County Superintendent Tracy Moracey to our roundtable discussion hosted by GCHS students.
Now, here are your hosts, Haley Howard and Aaliyah Greason.
Good afternoon and welcome back to Sit Down with the Superintendent. We're here with Miss Tracy Moracey. I'm Aaliyah Greason.
And I'm Haley Howard.
We missed you last week because of some scheduling conflicts. Can you talk about anything you've been working on?
Actually, let's see, this past couple of weeks, we've been working on grants, lots and lots of grants. We're trying to increase funding for our schools in a positive way. So one of the big things going on is a big reading grant initiative and some meeting with some different administration, and I'm doing evaluations for principals.
So the reading grants, do they go to like our library?
It would actually be an initiative to buy materials and supplies for the primary grades. The ultimate goal is to have every child reading on level by the end of third grade.
Okay.
So it would provide extra training, reading materials, books, couple of surprises we're hoping for that I won't go into right now,
Yeah.
but I think it could be a really good thing.
So speaking of libraries, do we get grants for books in the libraries, or?
I know that our one here, there's one for the Dollar General grant, I do believe. I know that they received that a couple of years ago, and then in our yearly budget, so much money is set aside for schools to support the libraries. So we do put aside money for that.
My next question is, ACT preparations have been provided for us juniors to prepare for the upcoming test on March 10th. Who came up with this idea?
It's something we do normally every year. We kind of put a big push on making sure that the juniors, who some have never seen the test in real form ever, so we try to make sure that we can make sure you feel comfortable with that, because it is a score that goes with you and stays with you. Honestly, it's something every year, and we had difficulty. Some years have been more beneficial than others. We did see a little bit of a drop in last year's score, but that was a statewide drop. Everyone in the state dropped a little bit. So we have an extra little push in. Got some information from a couple of adjoining counties and what they had done, and they are rural, agricultural, big districts similar to ours, and what was working for their kids. So we have a real focus on giving, especially students who don't necessarily always perform at the very, very top, they need that extra help.
Right.
So we're working with them a lot.
So far I've been pulled out for English and reading. Have you?
I haven't been pulled out for anything, but I was going to ask about that if you knew about us.
I do not know their routine or how they do that. That has been truly something at the high school level driven.
So Mr. Smith's taking
Yes,
care of that.
I've offered, experts that I know in fields that can come and help and support. And there's a lady called, I think, the ACT lady that's been coming in.
Here at the high school, yeah.
So for that has came from us, just recommending sending them to us that are doing well for them to see how that they're supporting students. It's kind of kicked things off, but for the most part, it's been the school administration.
So we got our iced coffee finally. I think it was 2 Fridays ago, right?
Yeah.
How do you think that did, and did you get a chance to try it?
I have not gotten to try it, but I hear they're coming again this Friday, right? Or is it just Thursdays?
I think it's
Fridays? Okay. But I could have swore I saw something else that was coming along with it. Is there something different coming with it? Perhaps I dreamed it?
Is it donuts or something?
I'm not really sure, but I feel like maybe it was.
Was it
No,
donuts
there's something
or
else.
Pop-Tarts?
Is it cappuccino? There's something. I don't know.
Oh.
So anyway, I think there was something different going with it, but I could have dreamed this. I do know that it was a pretty big hit and successful, so I do know that they're going to continue it.
Yeah, I think everybody came to school earlier.
Did they?
Yeah.
Well,
I heard there was long lines.
long
Everybody
lines.
waiting.
Oh, that's one of the things student council about, just about trying to shorten some lines in the cafeteria, even for lunch. So
it was third lunch. That's
yeah,
the
we've been
problem.
talking, I've already been in touch with our food service director to look at some grab and go options at lunch to shorten those lines. So, and then we'll just look at scheduling next year.
I know me and Haley were both there, but do you want to talk about how the first superintendent council meeting went?
Listen, We just to get out of their way because I'm telling you what, every one of the members of the council had big ideas and things to see improved, and rightly so. I do need to win the lottery in order to fulfill all their wishes. Yesterday I sent out, if you are watching and you are on the council, and I just reminded these two sweet ladies here, I sent out a survey of all the top 20 items that they gave me that they would like to tackle our school system. And this is just middle school through high school. So thank goodness I didn't include elementary. I don't think I could handle it. So I wanted you to pick 3. So if you're on council, log into your email and check about that and make sure you pick your top 3 choices, and then we'll go demographic process. And several of the things on your list that were facility type of issues, such as bathroom updates, those types of things I've already addressed with the facilities department. So it just depends on our budget as to what we can do. But it is one of the top priorities.
I love how the elementaries have like paintings in their bathrooms. I think
Right.
we
That is
need
so
to do that
cute.
here at the high school.
I think your art department could do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, just that would be something, would be a great project. If Mr. Mosier's watching,
Yes. We
The
need your
middle
help,
school
Mr.
bathrooms,
Mosier.
though, they're really nice.
they're tiled. Those were very expensive from what I understand. So you just have to look at how many, they only did 1 bathroom, and there are 3 others at those schools that need to be redone. So we have to be cost effective and know how many bathrooms we have to do.
Right.
So that's the only thing. But yes, those are nice. So my daughter is not complaining about a new bathroom at Wortland Middle School. So
What is the #1 new or ongoing initiative that your district will be focused on over the next course of the year?
let's see, we are doing something called a facilities plan, which kind of goes hand in hand with the restrooms that we just talked about. And we are getting ready to get the community together to work on that. We're still looking for one more business in our community. If anyone happens to know someone to recommend, a business owner that would want to be on this, it's required by the state that we have our businesses involved. The trouble with that is that being in Greenup County, there aren't a ton of businesses to
Right.
get involved. So we're out and trying to get one more person to be on it. That's going to go along with the strategic plan that I've talked to you guys about as far as a 5-year plan. And then the grants that we're talking about, and we have the bookmobile coming up that I'm kind of excited about too.
Yeah.
So that's going to be a food truck. So I think you have some questions about that
Yeah.
later on. So that's pretty exciting. And I think we're looking at doing some renovations that were on the list from the student council about cafeteria upgrades for the middle schools to make them look a little nicer, more this century. So.
We recently hired 2 new head coaches at the high school for football and track. Have you
Yes.
gotten a chance to talk with either of them about their goals for their
Um,
teams?
Sure, we have what's called a leadership cadre that's very similar to the student council cadre that I have with you guys, only I do the leadership cadre with people who lead different areas of our school. So Coach Moore is actually a member of that. So I got to talk to him a little bit last week whenever he came into meetings, and I think he'll do a fine job. You're talking to a person, my husband was a football coach, and I have a future football player in my house who right now doesn't mind tearing up my things when he's not on a field. So, you know, I'm very pro sports, and my husband actually coached track too. I mean, all the time that's involved.
Yeah.
It's a very, you have to be a dedicated person to be a coach. So my congratulations to them, and I think they will do a fantastic job. Coach Moore has already been in touch with me to get my shirt size. I may have lied as to what size I'm going to be when I need to wear the shirt. So wish me luck.
You have fitness goals? Is that
I
what it
do,
is?
I do. Did you guys see, I have declared for the remainder of the year, it's Tennis Shoe Tuesday. So even if you're a teacher or an administrator, I was wearing my dress pants with my Nikes yesterday. I looked like I was ready for a retirement home, I'll be honest. But I just want people to get out and walk at lunch, walk afterwards, find a friend, get moving. Not tired after you eat your
Right.
cafeteria food and then go take a nap, but get out and move a little bit.
The face of education is constantly changing. One trend that you think that will have a major influence in school districts in the upcoming years?
It's the art of competition. I think competition and competing for kids. We're actually seeing a population decline in eastern Kentucky. So one of the major areas happening in schools is when you lose your funding, thus you're unable to provide as many different extracurriculars and academic opportunities. So that's something that we work really hard with, trying to find grants and funding to do facility work so that we can put all of our money into actual programs and opportunities for kids. So really one of the focuses coming up, I think, is going to be a political strife as well, with making sure that we get our schools appropriately and beyond just the size of the county, the population in the county too. Right now, people don't understand that we do not get funding for transportation. We get 60%. So if you think about how many miles our buses travel in comparison to maybe a Raceland or a Russell or an Ashland,
we go farther across the county.
We go farther, we have more schools to service, and we are still getting the same percentage of funding as they are. So that puts things kind of in a bond. So those are the types of things that I'm really working with. I'm sure people wish they had never given me their telephone number, but I may or may not have reached out to a few representatives and encouraged them to support us, because I'm a true believer that the foundation of our democracy is having a free education for everyone, not just the select, but for everyone. And so in Greenup, I pride that we educate everyone. So I want to be able to continue doing that.
Talk to us about House Bill 350. How does this affect our district as well as Raceland and Russell?
House Bill 350 is basically people who do donations or send kids to private school can get a tax break. So basically they
get a bigger fund if they help a student private school. I've been told twin as what that could be statewide. I cringe at $25 million, because think about what we could do with $25 million. So I have been actively, I just left actually the Beacon with Hank Bond just a few minutes ago, and I was on there talking about it too. And then on Friday I'm supposed to speak with the Courier-Journal about it. I'm going to be as positive and proactive as I can, because I want to be able to have programs like this. I mean, I want you to think about this type of program doesn't exist
just anywhere,
you know, and this is cost money, you know. Granted, it's money that we don't have to put back into it unless you guys break any of these iPads. However, you know, you're going to want to constantly upgrade and get better, and it's provided a lot for you guys. It's even provided a source for me to get to know some students. I just don't want to see things like this not continue to evolve. So.
You have any questions, Leah?
No, I think we're ready to wrap it up.
Okay, all right.
Thanks for watching Sit Down with the Superintendent. Thank you, Ms. Moracy, for coming in and talking with us.
Thanks for having me. Yeah.
Have a great afternoon, everyone.